Hello, welcome to my lesson. My name is AKELLO Mini, a master's student of AKU IED, East Africa, Tanzania. Today, we are going to look at living things. That takes us to the next question to ask, what are living things? Living things are things that are made of units called cells. I repeat, living things are things that are made of units called cells. Now that we know what living things are, this now takes us to the next slide. Here, we are going to look at examples of living things. As you can see from these animations, we have one example of living things as plants. Here we have a tree, we have grass, we have this flower plant. All of them are examples of living things that fall under plants. The next slide is giving us another second example of living things, that is animals. Animals are also living things. As you can see from these diagrams, we have different groups of animals. We have the dolphin that stays in the sea. We have fish also found in the lakes and rivers. We have birds that fly in the air. We also have a dog that stays in our homes and also found within us. We have a monkey that stays in the forest. We have a tortoise. As all these are examples of living things under animals. Well, let's move on. We want to see what are the characteristics of living things, or what do living things need in order for them to stay alive. As we can see from this picture, living things, they grow. When you plant a seed, it will grow into a plant. So even people, they grow. They start from babies and then they grow to adulthood. So this shows that living things grow. Another characteristic is that living things move. And you know, they move in different categories. So we have these giraffes. They are showing movement. Some run, some fly, some walk. But we see these ones, they are just running. That is a sign that living things, they move. Okay. Next is that living things breathe or respire. They take in oxygen and they breathe out carbon dioxide, as you can see here. That is a sign that living things breathe. Alright? And then the other thing is that living things, they respond to stimuli. When they are touched, like this plant, when you touch it, it will fold the leaves to show that it's responding to stimuli. Even you, when they call you, you will respond. That is a sign that living things respond to stimuli. Next is that living things, they produce or they reproduce. You can see the lion here and the calf. We can see the duck here and the ducklings. That is a sign to show that they reproduce. And reproduction means that they multiply in number. Next is that living things they excrete, they remove the waste products from the body. Sometimes by sweating, sometimes they go to the toilet to help themselves, As you can see, this one doesn't know toilet behavior, so it just excretes as it goes. But we who have the knowledge, we go and help ourselves in the right place. And then you can see them. Also, living things feed, they eat. So when they eat, they get energy that helps them to do different functions. You can see we have here a rat. This young girl is eating spaghetti. The cows are feeding on grass. And so this is a sign that for them to continue living, they must eat. Right. Finally, what have we learned today? We have learned today that living things are made of units called cells. And therefore, examples of living things are plants and animals. And then the characteristics of these living things are: living things move, they respire or breathe, they respond to stimuli, they grow, they reproduce, they excrete, and they feed or eat. So I am sure that at the end of this lesson today, we have been able to know, to define what living things are. Secondly, give examples of living things. Thirdly, state the characteristics of living things. Now, before I come to the end of my lesson, I'd like to give you this activity so that you can also be engaged and do it. So I want you to write down all living things you know and group them under plants and animals, and then make journal entries in your science journal, and then see how you categorize them. Thank you for listening.